Jai Hind everyone, my name is Ankita Rani. I am working as an assistant professor in CSE department at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today we discuss the topic for loop and while loop in Python programming, and the subject code is BCC 402. So there are some condition statement and if else statement before we study for loop. So conditions like equal, not equal, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. These are the conditions through which we can give conditions in the Python program. So these condition can be used in several ways. Most commonly is the if statement. If statement and for loop, and if statement is written by the if keyword. So example is, if the value of a is 33, b is equal to 200. So the condition given is that if b is greater than a, so we can write the if statement like that. So if b is greater than a, then print the value of b. So indentation is very important in the Python programming language, because Python relies on the indentation. Indentation means white space at the beginning. For example, this space is called the indentation in the Python. So indentation is used to define scope in the code. Other programming language uses the curly bracket for that purpose. So for example, if we write an if statement without an indentation, then the program will give an error. So in that example, you can see that there is no indentation, there is no white space before the beginning of the b variable, then this program will give an error. So, but you can see that in this example, in starting, we give the white space. So this program run and this program will not give an error. So the Python relies on the indentation. Another keyword is the elif keyword. Elif keyword is also used for the condition statement. If the previous condition were not true, then we can try this condition. So if we have a condition of two types, then we can use the elif keyword. For example, first condition is if b is greater than a. Next condition is elif a double equals b, means a and b are equal. So in this we can give two conditions. So if we have a two conditions, two statements, then we can use the keyword elif. So in this example, a is equal to b. You can see that the value of the a variable is 33 and the value of the b variable is also the 33. So in this, a is equal to b. So the first condition, b is greater than a, is not true. So we have to go for the another condition, which is a is equal to b. So the second condition is true for that example. So this is the use of the elif keyword. Another keyword is the else keyword. So the use of the else keyword catch anything which is not caught by the previous conditions. For example, if this condition is not true and if this condition is not true, so we go for the third condition. For example, the value of a is 200 and the value of b is 33. So if b is greater than a, if b is greater than a, next condition is a and b are equal. If both the conditions are false, then we can go for the another condition, which is called a is greater than b, and this condition is true. So in this example, a is greater than b. So the first condition is false and also the elif condition is also not true. So we go to the else condition, and on the screen the output is a is greater than b will be print. So this is the example. So you can also have an else without the elif keyword. For example, if we have only two conditions, like a is equal to 200, b is equal to 33. If b is greater than a, then this. If this condition is not true, then we go for the another condition. So another condition is b is not greater than a. If B is greater than A, then it is true. If it is not true, then we go for the condition B is not greater than A. So, after understanding the conditional statement, if statement, we go for the for loops. So, a for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, means something which is repeating, something which is iterating. So, that is either a list or tuple, dictionary, set or string. These all are the data types in the Python. So, this is less like the for keyword in other programming language and work more like an iterator method as found in other object oriented programming languages. So, with the for loop, we can execute a set of statement, one for each item in a list, tuple, set, etc. So, the example is print each fruit in a fruit list. So, first we create a list. List is given under the square brackets. Anything which is written in the square bracket is called list. So, there are 3 items in that list. First is apple, banana and cherry. So, we use the for keyword, for loop. For x, x is the variable in which the result is stored in fruits. So, we can check the value of variable in the list in fruits. Then print x. X is the variable. X is the variable in which all the items of the list are stored. So, if the value of the x is print, the output is apple, banana and cherry. This is the output. So, this is the syntax for loop for x in list. In this, we use the variable. So, this is the syntax of the for loop. So, next is the looping through a string. Looping through a string means even strings are iterable objects. They contain a sequence of characters. Example, loop through the letters in the word banana. For example, we have given a word called banana. So, for loop is for x in banana. So, in a string, the output is generated by in the sequence manner, like in this sequence B, A, N, A, N, A. So, if we use a string in the for loop, the output is generate like this in the sequence manner, like in a sequence of the characters. Next is the break statement. The use of the break statement in the for loop. With the break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items. We can break the loop by using the keyword called break whenever you want. Whenever you want to end the loop or stop the loop, you can use the keyword break. You can also break the loop if they had not looped through all the items. For example, condition is given exit the loop when x is banana. So, when the value of the x is equal to banana, when the value of the x is equal to banana, then we can stop the loop at here. So, fruits, there is a list apple, banana, cherry and we can use the for loop for x in fruits. Print x, we can print the values of the list, we can, and after that we can give in a condition for breaking the loop. So, if x is equal to banana, this means that if the value of the x is equal to banana, then we can break the loop at here. So, one by one they read the list item. So, first they print the value of first item which is called apple. After that they go to the second item, then banana, and after that they check the value that x is equal to banana. After that we can break the loop. they cannot go through the other item of the list. They cannot loop all the remaining item of the list. So, this is the use of the break statement in the Python. There is also an example of the break statement. In this, condition is exit the loop when x is banana, but this time break comes before the print. For example, in that example, break keyword before the print command, before the print. For example, we can have a list which is called fruits is equal to apple, banana, cherry. For x in fruits, and after that we give the condition if x is equal to banana, and after that we can write break statement and then print statement. The use of the print statement is to print the value, but you can see that at here first they read the value apple, and after that when they go to the next item, they can read the condition if x is equal to banana, they can read the condition, and after that they break the loop. They cannot print the value of the x is equal to banana because the loop break before the print statement. So this is the difference before we writing the print statement break condition, or after we write the break statement after the printing statement. Next is the continue statement. With the continue statement, we can stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next. There is a difference between the break and the continue. In break, we can stop the whole loop. Stop the loop. But in continue statement, we can stop the current iteration. In this, we stop the current iteration. So, for example, you can see that condition is do not print banana. This is the list apple, banana, cherry. We want to print the apple, we want to print cherry, but we don't want to print the banana. So, what the condition is, we use the for loop for x in fruits. After that, we given the condition if x is equal to banana. Then we can use the continue statement. In continue statement, this means that they stop the current iteration. Current iteration is at the banana and they stop that current iteration. After that, we loop another item. That time, the value of the for x in fruit is equal to cherry. So, the output of that example is first they print the value is apple and they stop the iteration banana, and after that they print the value cherry. So, this is the use of the current continue statement. In continue, we stop the current iteration, and in the break, we stop the whole loop. After that, next is the range function in the loop. So, the loop through a set of code a specified number of times, we can use the range function. If we want to print some number of item in the range, we can use the range function. So, the range function return a sequence of number starting from the 0 by default and increment by 1 by default and at a specified number until we given any specified condition. For example, we use the range function. So, the loop is for x in range 6. We give the value of the range is 6. By default, they start from the value 0 and they print until the 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the output of that range function because we print the total number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we start from the value index value 0 by default and they increment by the 1 by default, and if the value is 6, then you must learn that we can print the 5, the number before that range value. So note that the range 6 is not the value of 0 to 6, but the value of the 0 to 5, because they can calculate from the index value. So the range function default to 0 as a starting value. However, it is possible to specify the starting value by adding a parameter. Next is the another function is range. We can give the value range 2 to 6. Means the value is the range 2, 6. Means we have to print the value from the range 2, 6, which means value from 2 to 6, but not including the 6. So example, for x in range 2 to 6, print x. So we print 2, 3, 4, 5, because in range we don't include the last value. So this is the output 2, 3, 4, 5. We print the value from 2 to 6, because this means that the value is 2 to 6. So another function is the, if we use the range function 233, it means in that the function default to increment the sequence by 1. It is possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter. In this you can see that we have a 3 parameter. Example is increment the sequence with 3. We want to increment the sequence with the 3 value. For example, range start from the 2 value. This is the starting value. This is the last value. And this is the increment sequence. This is the increment sequence. So the first output is 2, then 5, because then 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29. You can see that in this the difference is about the 3. So we can print, if the condition is given that the increment the sequence with 3, you can give in the range function like that. So this is the another example. Example is to print all number from 0 to 5 and print a message when the loop has ended. For example, we can give the loop for x in range, and we can print that statement. Else last may, in the last we can print the statement finally finished. So they print the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the value is given 6. So the value will be print from 0 to 5, and at last we print the finally finished. Another example is break the loop when x is 3 and see what happens with the else block. For example, we can give the for loop for x in range 6. If the value of the x is 3, the loop is break. Break means we can stop the whole loop. After that print x and else print finally finished. So the output of that program is the 0, 1 and 2. 0, 1, 2. Another statement is the pass statement. So the pass statement means for loop cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have a for loop with no content but put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. For example, this is the for loop, but you don't have any statement to write after that for loop. So we write the statement pass, that will not give an error. If you do not write the pass statement, then they will give you an error. Next is the nested for loop in Python. Nested for loop means one loop inside the another loop. For example, we have two lists, list 1, list 2, for x in list 1 and for y in list 2. Means in list 1 we have a list 2. So this is the nested for loop. This is another example. This is the some examples of the Python. You can see Python for loop to find the multiplies of 5 in a list. Then after that we come to the while loops. So with the while loop we can execute a set of statement as long as a condition is true. So print I as long as I is less than 6. We can print the value of I until it is less than 6. So we can give the value of I starting from the value 1. While I is less than 6, print I plus plus means we can increment the value of the I by 1. So the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So same break statement we use in the while loop. The concept of the break statement is same in the while loop. With the break statement, we can stop the loop even if the while condition is true. For the condition is exit the loop when I is 3. I is equal to 1 while I is less than 6. Print I. If I is equal to 3, then they break. And in this, the condition is true. I is equal to 3, then we break. So the output is 1, 2, 3. They cannot iterate the value of the 4, 5, 6 because we can use the keyword break. We use the keyword break statement. Next is the continuous statement. The concept of the continuous statement is the same as in the for loop. We can stop the current iteration and continue with the next. So the value of I is 0. Condition is while I is less than 6, I plus plus. If I is equal to 3, then continue. Means we can stop the current iteration when the value of I is 3. So the output is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Next is the else statement. With the else statement, we can run a block of code once when the condition no longer is the true. Thank you.